Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Corner. Time for another video blog for FoxSportsDetroit.com. I'm Art Regner, and today we're going to talk about the Detroit Lions. In the last couple of days, the Lions have cut ties with Titus Young Sr., who is now a St. Louis Ram, Stephen Peterman, a longtime offensive lineman for the Lions, and, of course, a veteran defensive lineman, defensive end Kyle Vanden Bosch, whom we all know. The Lions, Jim Schwartz, when he became an unrestricted free agent, had a history with Vanden Bosch in Tennessee, was knocking on his door, I guess, right at midnight, and Kyle Vanden Bosch was soon a Detroit Lion. Vanden Bosch had another year left on his contract, and I jokingly said during the season, because it was pretty apparent that Kyle Vanden Bosch, a 13-year veteran, had Father Time catch up with him, and that's no fault of his own. Trust me, Kyle, it happens to everybody. And when Father Time comes a knocking, you can try to run, but eventually it catches up with you, or he catches up with you, Father Time, that is. And I think Kyle Vanden Bosch had a great career, but it was pretty apparent last season where he had 3.5 sacks, which tied for 101st in the league, that his career was really winding down. But I think that there may be a role for Kyle Vanden Bosch. As I said during the season when it became apparent that Father Time had caught up with him, I used to jokingly say Kyle Vanden Bosch will look great next year in his Lions assistant coach, either the old Lions leather, if you remember from the Wayno days, or the concoctions that Jim Schwartz and his staff wear on the sidelines. And the more I think about it, I think that would be a good move outside the box, if you will, that perhaps maybe the best move, or one of the best moves the Lions can make this offseason, is to offer Kyle Vanden Bosch a position as an assistant coach, obviously with the defense. I think his presence has been very, very good. He was a settling influence. He was a veteran. He was a performer. He's played in this league. I think the young guys respect that he knows what he's talking about. He had some injuries during his Detroit career, so he was on the sidelines a lot, coaching the guys up anyway, even though he was still a player. My reasoning for this is quite simple. If you look at anything that people are saying about the Detroit Lions this offseason, it's that they have some very talented players, Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford, Ndamukong Suh, Nick Fairley, but they lack discipline. That the major issue going into this offseason for the Detroit Lions, and virtually everything I've read, and I've read a lot about needs for this upcoming season, has been that Jim Schwartz has to get control of his locker room, and he needs to make sure that discipline is instilled in the Detroit Lions, or, as we've been saying for a long time, they're never going to go anywhere. That's why I believe Vanden Bosch, if he wants to, should become a coach with the Detroit Lions. I think it makes perfect sense. Many years ago it was explained to me that players respect their head coach, even if they had or had not played in the league, because they have attained a head coach position. That if you do not respect the coach, then you're not going to have much of a team. Your team's not going to do very much. However, assistant coaches, it's a little different story. If they've never actually worn the uniform, sometimes players have a tendency to say, oh, really? Well, how many games did you play in this league? So I think because the Lions lack discipline, and because Vanden Bosch is familiar with the Lions, familiar with their talent, familiar with this system, played for this team, I think it makes perfect sense for Jim Schwartz and Gunther Cunningham and maybe the Ford family to sit down and say, can't we do something for Kyle Vanden Bosch? Can't we make him a member of our coaching staff? I think he would have a settling influence, and I think that it would be a positive step in the right direction. I hope it happens. I'm not sure. I don't really know Kyle Vanden Bosch at all. Maybe he has a business on the side or has been looking forward to retirement, or maybe he wants to play again. Maybe if he latches on with another team, he might still have the competitive juices burning deep inside. If that's the case, I wish him luck and more power to you, Kyle. However, if you are thinking that maybe Father Time has caught up and it's time to hang it up, I believe a position as an assistant coach with the Detroit Lions would benefit you because you're familiar with the situation and you really respect Jim Schwartz. He respects you, and more importantly, the young players really respect you on this team. Cliff Averill tweeted yesterday that you were his inspiration, that you taught him how to be a pro. And obviously Cliff Averill, who probably won't be a Lion too, I think he's going to be just cost too much money. But here was a guy under your guidance, as he stated yesterday, really blossomed into at least an above average, some might even think premier defensive end in this league. So, Lions, I know that usually I'm criticizing you, but right now I've thought it over, and I really do think that one of the best moves the Lions can make this offseason is to offer Kyle Vanden Bosch a position on the Detroit Lions coaching staff. And so that'll do it for this edition of Art Regner's video blog. Tomorrow, we'll talk about recruiting, and we have to get into the Red Wings. Boy, what a tough watch they've been lately. That and so much more will come your way here in the Sports Corner. For FoxSportsDetroit.com, I'm Art Regner. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.